Every night at 1:14, the system logs a visitor entering through a locked door. The door never opens. I know because I watch it. There's a camera pointed straight at it. No blind spots, no delay. Just a fixed frame of a hallway that doesn't change. Except for that one line in the log. Visitor entry detected. Same time, every night. No one there. At first, I thought it was a glitch. The building's old. The system's older. Sometimes the timestamps lag. Sometimes doors report wrong statuses. It happens. So I ignored it. I'd sit at the desk, watch the monitors, write my hourly notes, and let 1:14 pass like any other minute. But it kept happening. Every night. Exactly 1:14. Same door, same entry. Still nothing on camera. After a few days, I started marking it down. Just a small note in my logbook. Time, door number, no visual. It felt routine, harmless, until the system added more detail. It wasn't just entry anymore. One night, right after 1:14, a second line appeared. Visitor moving east corridor. I looked up at the screen. The corridor was empty. No movement, no shadow, nothing shifting in the frame. Just still air and dim light. I checked the playback, rewound it, watched it again. Nothing. The log kept updating. Visitor passing storage. Visitor approaching lobby. Each line came a few seconds apart, like someone walking at a normal pace. But the cameras showed nothing following that path. I started paying closer attention after that. Stopped doing paperwork around that time. Sat still, watched every screen. At 1:14, the entry came in. Then the movement. Always the same route, always the same timing. It got more specific over the next few nights. Visitor paused near desk. That one stayed on the screen longer than the others. I remember not moving when I read it. I didn't turn around. I just stared at the monitor and waited for the next line. It didn't come right away. The room felt quieter than usual, like the air had settled. Then the system cleared the message. Back to normal. Nothing behind me. After that, I started checking the cameras before 1:14. Every angle, every hallway, just to make sure. Everything looked the same as always. Still, empty. I even walked the path myself once, from the door to the desk, timed it. It matched the logs almost exactly. That didn't help. One night, I heard something, right at 1:14. A soft sound, like a step on tile. I looked at the monitor. Visitor entry detected. Then another step, somewhere past the door, out of view. Visitor moving east corridor. The sound came again, faint, even, not rushed. I stayed still, watched the screens. Nothing moved, but the footsteps continued. They followed the exact route in the logs, every turn, every pause, perfectly in sync. I could feel them getting closer. The system updated as they did. Visitor passing storage. A few seconds later, visitor approaching lobby. The sound was clearer now, not loud, just present, measured. I didn't get up, didn't call it in. I just watched. When the next line appeared, I slid out of my chair and lowered myself behind the desk. Slow, quiet. The monitor was still visible from there. I kept my eyes on the screen. The room went still again. No footsteps for a moment. Then, visitor paused near desk. I held my breath. There was no sound behind me, no shift in the air. Just that line on the screen. Then it changed. Visitor standing behind security desk. I didn't move right away. I kept looking at the monitor. The camera facing the desk showed one person, sitting in the chair, facing forward. Me. No one else. I stayed there for a while after that. Didn't check behind me. Didn't move until the system cleared the message and reset. When I finally stood up, the room looked the same. Empty. Quiet. like nothing had happened. I finished the shift without writing anything about it. The next night, I went back through the logs, not just the recent ones, all of them, days back, maybe a week. I started reading them carefully, time by time, entry by entry. There was a pattern. The visitor didn't just move through the building. They paused in certain places, turned at specific points, stopped near the desk, and every one of those movements matched something I remembered doing. Not that night, earlier nights. Small things, getting up to check a hallway, leaning back in the chair, standing behind the desk for a second before sitting down. The timing was off. The logs came first. Then I did those things days later. Not exact copies, but close enough that it felt wrong, like I was following something already written. I stopped moving as much after that, kept my shifts simple, stayed in the chair, didn't walk unless I had to. At 1:14, I watched the screen. Every time. The logs still came in, still followed that same path, still ended near the desk. A few nights later, I decided not to move at all. Not before, not after. Just sit there and wait. At 1:13, I was already in position, hands on the desk, eyes on the monitor. The room was quiet, nothing out of place. The clock changed, 1:14. But the system updated before anything else. Visitor has already arrived. I stared at it. There hadn't been an entry, no movement, just that line. Already here. I didn't move, didn't even shift in the chair. I kept my hands flat on the desk, watched the screen, waited for the next update. It didn't come. The room felt still, too still, like something had settled into place. Then I noticed my hand. It wasn't where I left it, just slightly higher, barely off the surface. I hadn't felt it move, didn't remember lifting it, but it was rising, slowly, like I was following a motion I hadn't decided to make yet. I lowered it back down, pressed it flat, waited. The system didn't update again, but I didn't look away from the screen, not after that. I just sat there, watching, making sure I stayed exactly where I was. Because now, I'm not sure if I'm the one doing it, or just doing it again.